Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be making a couple chicken waters, DIY chicken waters. I've made these before. I've never used this exact material. A couple of different things that I've done in the past. I found this on YouTube from another channel. If I can remember what video that was and who the guy was, I will put it in the description because I want to give that guy credit. Yeah, it wasn't my idea, I got it from him. So anyway, what I'm gonna be using today is these little nipples right here. I think you can, there you go, you can see those. I got these off of Amazon. I bought I think a couple bags of 30 and they were pretty cheap. In the past, I've used these right here, these, I think they're called cups. Yeah, watering cups. And these work okay. I've used these in our chicken tractor and they work pretty good, but for the winter, for a heated, and this one's gonna be heated, I guess I should say that. In the winter, for a heated one, these will freeze up because they hold water in the cups. So, but for now, for heated chicken waters are expensive as it is. The heated ones are really expensive. We've used a few different kinds. The plastic ones are a pain in the butt. If you got chickens, you know, if you've had them, you got to turn them upside down to fill them and then put the lid on and then turn them back over. They're a pain in the butt. The metal ones they work okay. The big metal cans, those are decent. They last a while. But then the metal base that looks like an upside down feed pan, I think that's pretty much what it is. Those things never last for me. If I can get 2 years, that's doing really good, which for what they cost is not very good in my opinion. So anyway, I saw this guy, he made this out of a bucket, and like I said, I've done it before with buckets. But the thing I've found is when you buy cheap buckets, they don't work that well. So I went to Menards. Menards has the best buckets I've found. They're twice the cost of any other store, but they are much better. They've got a much heavier handle, and they're just a sturdier bucket. And I'm gonna use these, it's called a painter's lid. So this actually screws on to the bucket, and then this is the lid that goes onto it right here. And then I'm gonna use these nipples. Like I said, I got these off of Amazon, and I will link it down in the description. The Amazon link for these two. So anyway, I'm going to kind of show you how I do this here. And I have made, like I said, I've made other poultry waters out of buckets as well, but the buckets were cheaper. And what happens is when you get these full of water and you hang them, the bucket itself will, when it's not sturdy, it'll bow and pull in. And then the handle also, if it's not a very thick handle, this handle ends up getting bent and getting bowed as well. So you got to make sure you have a sturdy bucket. That was the one mistake I've made with the other waters I've made. So anyway, we're gonna get started on this. This isn't gonna take very long. Basically, the other thing you got to do when you make a water like this, these nipples, there's a limit to the amount of poultry or birds that you can have with these. So just for instance, these cups right here, you can have up to 12 chickens per cup. And I made that mistake one time. They have these cups, these are really neat. I've never seen these before, but these go in a sidewall, which I like better. And then there's the ones that go on the bottom of the bucket. I don't know if you've ever seen those before, but they're similar to this, except that they hang down, and this has a spring in it. So when they push on it, it pushes back and closes with the little O-ring there. The other ones that they hang, and there is no spring, and so gravity is what holds it shut. So if you got them on a sidewall, it'll just leak out. It won't go shut because the gravity is what pulls it back down. Those are a pain in the butt because, well, number one, they only water a couple chickens. I made that mistake. I made a nice water, but I only put 4 nipples on it, and my chickens weren't getting enough water. And then I realized, well, wait, I've got 30 chickens in here, and you got to have, I think it's 4 on those. It was like 4 chickens per nipple or something like that. So I didn't have near enough nipples. The other thing same with these cups you got to put them so low on the bucket to get to the bottom of it, then they hang down below it. And just like the other ones that you put on the bottom, you can't set your bucket down in the off season or when you're not using it. You got to lay it on its side or put it upside down, and you can't stack them or anything like that. So I liked this idea better. When I saw these look like they're a better nipple, so I'm going to try this. These cups, they do serve a good purpose, especially because they water so many chickens. I'll do a video on it later, but for our chicken tractor, I've got a bunch of these cups. I'm going to do a watering system in that chicken tractor with some PVC pipe and a couple buckets, and I've got an idea for that. So I'll do a video on that later this spring when it gets closer to to raising meat, time to raise meat chickens. So anyway, this one's going to be a heated water. I'm going to show you how to do that. Like I said, this isn't my idea. I saw a video with a guy. I'm just kind of relaying the message. But we're going to make 2 of these today because we really need them. I know it's getting toward the end of winter, but these can be used year round. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so basically what I did there was I didn't measure, I just kind of eyeballed it because it doesn't really matter. But I held the bucket like this, drilled the whole top, bottom, side, and side, and then I split the difference. I measured in between each of those holes and put 2 more holes, so it'll give me 12 nipples total. And each of these, if I remember right, I believe it was 5 chickens is what this nipple is supposed to be for. So that should give me essentially 48 chickens, I guess, basically. No, my math is off. 5 times 12 is 60 chickens, which, I don't know, the more the better, I guess. So anyway, that's public school math right there. So that's all I did there. And the other thing I want to tell you too, because I made this mistake on another, I screwed up a bucket. I drilled my holes, whatever they tell you as far as drill bit size for these, I go a size smaller, because the drill bit size they tell you usually is too big. And the bucket, the first one I ever made, I went by their standards, and I don't know if I drilled too fast or what it was, but the drill bit they told me to use, or that was specified on the nipple package, actually made them too big, and then it stripped them out. And I put a ton of tape on to try and get it to stick, and it still didn't work very well. So I always go one size smaller than what they say, and it seems to work pretty good. I always use the white plumbing tape as well around these. So now we're going to go ahead and stick these on. All right, so I got all my nipples on all the way around. It turned out pretty good. That part did. Now, to be able to make it heated, what I've got is one of these small, I call them a bucket heater. They're plastic safe. They make them, this one is a 250, but they make them from 150 watt, 250 watt, and then a 500 watt also. And I love these things. These actually work really well, and they seem to last quite a while. Right now we've probably got 7 different tank heaters plugged in. And on our smaller tanks, a couple of those we use the 500s, and then I've got one underneath a hydrant out there that I keep thawed out just for the cats and for the chickens, and when they're outside. This is I think this is what I'm using, a 250 in there. And then for the other water that I've got hanging in the coop, one of the other waters I built, I've got a 150 in there. So these things work really well, and like I said, they're safe. They can be in plastic and they won't melt it. But anyway, so what I'm going to do here is drill a hole, and you got to make sure you measure on your painter's lid here. But I'm going to put my hole right down here, and that way once this is pushed on, it's still below that, and that's not going to affect it. Now, the one thing that's going to happen here is I'm just going to use I'm going to drill a hole right here and then use a Sawzall to cut down to it. So it's not going to be watertight anymore. So what I'll probably do is come back with some silicone or something and put in there. And once you put this on anyway, again, it'll hold it back together. So I'll probably, once I get this on, put some silicone in there, because I imagine I'll probably never take this off again once it's on there. So anyway, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to drill a hole, and this is just a 3/8 bit. I measured the size of the cord on there. then you can just separate your bucket like this, slide the cord down in there, and now you got a heater in there. So now the heater's in there. Put my lid on, and then I'll use some silicone to seal that up right there. And then I've got a heated water. Now I did grab one of the other ones I made. This one excuse me. This one I had hanging out in my chicken tractor with my broilers last summer, and it worked pretty good. The only thing is, this one, yeah, this is the one I used. You can see right here, the drill bit I used was the size they told me to, and it was just wasn't quite snug enough. So, and then you can also see this is a much flimsier bucket. It's this bucket you can push it in, pull it out, and then also you can see once it was filled, it really, this is a lot smaller than this one is, and so it bent it. But so that's why I said go with a heavier bucket on that one. But it still worked good. The cups worked good. They I think I had 45 broilers in there, and these are good for up to 12 chicks or 12 chickens, so it worked all right. But I'm gonna make another one, like I said. I'm gonna use PVC pipe though. I've got some tees, some PVC tees that these will actually screw right into, and then I'm gonna use pipe and then have a hose that goes up to a bucket. So you just fill the bucket outside of the tractor. At least that's my idea. We'll see how it works out. And then have the PVC pipe going along the side of it. But I'll do a video on that later. So anyway, I'm gonna make another one of these because I want 2 of them for our chickens. This should be, I've got 12 nipples on here, so technically this should be good for up to 60 chickens. Obviously it's only 5 gallons, so I'm gonna have to fill it probably every day, which whatever, that's fine. But we usually have anywhere from 60 to 100 laying hens at a time, so a few of these should be fine over the winter. Obviously during the summer they're going to need more capacity than this, but for the winter this will work just fine. So anyway, that's the DIY heated chicken water. I think I've got, gosh, I don't even think I got 20 bucks in this, which is much cheaper than anything you're going to buy that's heated at the store from any of the farm stores. So if you got any ideas or any comments or whatever, just leave them in the comments section. If you got any improvements you think maybe you could make with this, or anything like that, just leave it. I'd be interested to hear about that. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. If you're still watching right now, I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel too. We're going to be making some other videos. I got a couple other projects that I'm going to be working on, building some other ideas for some feeders and things like that. So anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.